Update 35. Here we go. Welcome to the Elder Scrolls V.1.0. The Lost Depths. Continuing the legacy of the Bretons storyline. Getting 2 new 4-player dungeons, several new item sets, collectibles, and furnishings to obtain. Hurricane Dicka, 29 months. Welcome back, dude. Thank you for the primer. Yeah, the game's definitely diving deep into the Lost Depths. Here we are. You'll have 2 new dungeons. Okay, just highlighting. Again, this will be focused on combat stuff. I'm mainly going to read through and we'll give reactions as they go. And maybe we'll do at the end we'll do a TLDR summation. Alright, that sounds good. Alright, new item sets. Boom, right near the top. We've added several new item sets and monster masks to acquire. First one is a light set. It gives you max magicka. Healing done. Max magicka. On heal with a AoE. Apply minor berserk and minor resolve to healed allies for 4 seconds. If a healed ally already has minor berserk and resolve, restore magicka. The restore can occur once every 5 seconds. Interesting. Okay. Packing on some very useful buffs. Both morphs of combat prayer tucked in a set. Very interesting. Alright. Yeah, not bad. Medium. Pen crit chance. Wow. When you deal damage with a heavy, create a 12-meter AoE for 12 seconds that grants some power to allies inside. Increasing the damage of their light and heavies by 1,800. Whoa. This effect can occur once every 8 seconds. Alright. Big poggers. As we already know, or if you haven't seen, Update 35 is reworking light and heavy attacks. They are flat damage and they ignore your stats. Alright, everyone does the same light and heavies now. To equalize the playing field out there. Yeah, alright, empower. There you go. I mean, I guess empower is still useful for PvE stuff, something like that. If you can apply it on everyone, why not, right? But damage on lights is definitely going down. Okay. Good PvE set. Deep Root Zeal, a heavy. Magicka, stam, and health. When you deal direct damage to a taunted target, restore stam and magicka. This effect can happen every 2 seconds. Okay. That's a lot. It's a lot of resources. 1,000 resources every 2 seconds. I mean, it's even a lot in PvP. Okay. Alright, maybe for some ransackers out there, they could make use of that. We got a monster set. 1-piece pen. 2-piece when you deal damage with a heavy attack. After 1.2 seconds, you deal shock damage to up to 6 enemies within a 7-meter cone, applying major vulnerability to them for 7 seconds. Increasing the damage enemies take by 10%. This effect can occur every 15 seconds and scales off weapon or spell. Interesting. Doesn't say how much damage it deals there, huh? Well, that's pretty damn nice. Major vuln. Alright. And what's it, 6 enemies up to a 7-meter... Oh, it's a cone. Cones are a little funky in the Elder Scrolls Online. Alright. They're not wide cones, they are tight cones. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. Okay. We got another set, light. We got crit chance, weapon damage. Like, they have another set that does major vuln, right? Isn't it like something off a bash? This is like way better than that, I think. What do you mean DB also hits? DB is supposed to be wide. It's not even supposed to be a tight cone. It's pretty wide. It's supposed to be like 180 in front of you. It's not. Great. Like a Dawnbreaker cone. Yeah, if it just up and misses, that's highly unfortunate. I mean, that's something that can be used in a PvP rotation. Like open with a heavy and jabs, or whatever you're doing. Whatever is going to be meta here. Alright, light set. Crit chance, weapon damage, crit chance. Dealing damage with a lighter heavy grants you a stack of Remorseless for 5 seconds. Up to 5 stacks. Up to once every half second. While you have 5 stacks, you generate an Aura of Focus, granting you major force. While you have Aura of Focus, allies within 12 meters of you gain minor force. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's another way to get major force, I guess. Which is very strong. In a raid group, it's not needed. You have war horns and such. But, yeah. Not terrible. Maybe it's a way to clear out bar space to give minor force to other people, though, huh? Okay. Medium. Weapon and spell, crit chance. On a light critical, you apply Withered Soul, dealing disease over 10 seconds. On light attack, crit damage on an enemy with Withered Soul, restore stamina. Can occur every 10 seconds, and the damage scales off the higher of your weapon or spell. Okay. We don't know how much damage over time that's doing. I mean, it's nice nice restore, but it's only on crit lights, thankfully, because it's a lot of stamina. But I mean, outside of that, I don't know. It's a push sustain set for what, you know. Do they normally, don't they usually have the numbers in here on these sets? We don't have numbers on like where they're at, the damage of what it procs. I know it scales, but we don't even have the base before scaling number. Alright. Den Mother. Healing taken. Armor. Health recovery. Stam. When you block, you and up 3 group members gain minor carriage for 10 seconds, increasing weapon and spell damage. This effect can occur once every 5 seconds. Okay. Another one. So I mean, some of these buffs you can already get from some other ways. These seem like some, they're all pretty decent sets that give buffs to your group, accessing some things. So I mean, they're not terrible sets as far as PvP goes. This one's interesting. That one is interesting. I don't think that is worth. Even though it gets you major force up. Could be exceptions, like a Nightblade maybe. I don't know. Because major force is a big jump. It's a big jump. 20% crit damage is huge, as we found out with Oaken Soul. So it's a lot. It's a big buff. But yeah. So new cooldown to dot, new Savage Werewolf. Which one? It has a cooldown, yeah. Savage Werewolf also works different in the sense that it procs every time you attack. I'm willing to bet a lot of people who use it don't even realize that, but that's part of it. It's a set that procs every time you attack and runs a dot when you're not, on top of giving another dot. So, Den Mother might be good for BGs. Was that the heavy sustain one? Oh no, this is this one. Minor carriage, increasing weapon. I mean, there's other, like, you can get that off of, don't you get minor carriage and minor resolve off the 1-2 piece, right? Monster set. Magma. Isn't that what those two give? Like, seems like a better route to take than this, so, you know. Anyway. Oh, we got another Monster Mask. Recovery. When you use roll dodge, create a husk after you roll. While within 5 meters of the husk, it will absorb all direct damage attacks against you. After 1 second, the husk explodes, dealing poison damage to all enemies within 5 meters. This effect can occur once every 20 seconds. Yeah, we need to see the damage of that husk explosion. It's a long cooldown, 20 seconds. So, I have a feeling that'll probably hit pretty hard. I can already see it. Jiazu is going to be wearing the husk. Alright, he's going to roll dodge, put his husk down, and do Rush of Agony, crit charge, pull you in. Rest in pieces, dude. A new toxicity is born. Let's see the numbers on that one. It absorbs all direct damage. It's only 1 second. Yeah, so I mean, it's not like it's protecting you a lot. It gives you a tight window where you can go and set it up, though. So, creates a little iframe moment. We've got new achievements, titles, dyes, and furnishings as well. New rewards of the worthy. Whoa! More sets. Alright. We have a light one that does weapon and spell damage. Crit resist. Wow. Penetration. And when you deal 6% damage... Oh wait, you deal 6% damage to blocking players. Okay. When you deal light attack damage to an enemy that is immune to CC, apply Languor for 10 seconds. Reducing their magic of recovery and stamina recovery by 248. It's going to occur every 10 seconds. Alright, I don't think ZeniMax understands what blocking does in PvP. Okay, it mitigates more than 6% damage. So, you might want to rethink how we're going to deal with block. I don't know what this is trying to do. Yeah. I'm not going to put this on and be like, I'll take care of the blockers, you know. Yeah. You can literally hit people in PvP for like, you could crit them unblocked for like 15k. They put up block and like suddenly you're doing like under 1,000 damage. You know, and it's just like, okay. So, whatever. So that doesn't do anything. Nocturnal's Ploy, medium. Penetration, crit resistance, stam recovery. When you apply a major debuff to an enemy, remove a major buff with the duration from the target. When you apply a minor debuff to an enemy, remove a minor buff. It's going to happen every 2 seconds. Oh, wow. That's actually really... That's the first time they've put this mechanic in the game. Something I've talked about many years ago. They don't have any way to strip buffs. Well, that's the first time I think they've ever put that in there. That's interesting. It's not bad. It's not a bad set. There's some people like Warden does major and minor every 3 seconds, right? Pretty good. I wonder how it works. Like, if you hit me and strip Hurricane from me, does it take Hurricane away? Or does it just take the armor portion away? Will I still have Minor Expedition and a buff? You know? Can't steal my buffs if I open up, that's right. What's up, Jilly? Welcome. That's interesting. Okay. Cool set. Not bad. Not bad at all. Especially in certain environments, like in a... I want to say in a dueler's environment, that's just going to be annoying as hell to deal with. You know? Ransack spam. You could be ransacking, yeah. You could just be a warden. Right? Alright. Mars Bomb, heavy. Armor, crit resist, healing taken. When a negative effect is removed from you, restore health. When you take damage and have 6 or more negative effects, cleanse all negative effects. This can happen every 15 seconds. It's okay. It's not bad. I mean, it's tough in a world with Plague. Without Plague, it's a really strong set, especially on some classes that don't have easy built-in purges, like a Sork moving around and he wants to reset. This could be very nice. Just wait. Oh, okay. It's a good set, but not with Plague Break around. Yeah, that's the thing. Plague Break is a, as a developer would say, it's a rule breaker. All right. You have all these cool things you think about, and then boom, rule breaker comes in and shuts down everything. New furnishings. Wow, 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 wow. Other things too. More things. Update 36 prologue quest. We have good news and bad news. The good news is we have supplied 2 templates to utilize for the PTS. Bad news is the names have not been updated. Okay. Oh, it's for templates. Okay. Alright. We got some known issues here. Okay. Known issues on the PTS. Okay, UI. We got housing, we got quests and zones. We've got Tales of the Tribute. Wow. Lots of that happening. Spoilers. I haven't done Tales of the Tribute yet. I don't know what this stuff is. So, unfortunate. I'm unaware. No comments. A lot of changes for it though. Okay. Yeah, maybe the NPC's a little smarter. I saw that. All right, fixes and improvements. Okay, we're still scrolling. Quest zones, combat and abilities. All right, here we go. Combat. Son of a bitch. Thanks, G Willie. Thank you for the bits, brother. Here we go. Light and heavy attacks now deal a flat amount of damage rather than scaling with your highest offensive stats. Melee light attacks deal 2250 base damage, while range deal 10% less. Fully charged heavies deal 2500 base multiplied by their cast time and cooldown. And 10% less for ranged. For example, two-handed heavies take 1.8 seconds between their cast time and cooldown, meaning the damage dealt at base is 4500. Okay. Meme attacks continue to scale between their light and fully charged counterparts. Okay. Heavy at 4500, huh? But then that's halved in, say, PvP. I wonder what that baseline is equal to in current patch. Like, what weapon damage pen stats is that equal to on a standard target? Because I don't know, actually. No more 38k heavy attacks. There shouldn't be. No, not 38k. Medium attacks continue. Okay, we read that. The final hit from Resto and Lightning Staves can now be dodged once again to ensure there's better counterplay at denying an opponent resources and the stronger portion of the attack. Whoa! Did you see counterplay? Dude, I haven't seen that word in a patch notes in probably 3+ years. So, kudos to that. And I like it, dude. Being able to dodge an attack and something happens, it's insane. That's actually big poggers, dude. It's been a while. Unbelievable. All right. Wow, we're off to a start here. Resources restored from fully charged heavies have been streamlined to grant an average of approximately 1350 resources based on their total cast time and cooldown, rather than varying values with no standardization. Alright, 2-handed Volendrungs now restore 2425 stamina, down from 2426. Ooh. Get one less stamina from those. Oh, that's a nerf. Restoration Staff now restores 2970, down from 3219. Alright, it's knocked down a little. Land Shield restores 2293, up from 2000. Ice and Infernos 28, up from 28. Dual Wield 2100, up from 1800. Okay, so about 300 more there. Bow is staying the same. Lightning Stabs now restore 2970 instead of 3632 from Lightning Heavies? Jesus. Yeah, nerf it, dude. Armed Combat now restores 2000, up from 1600. Hell yeah. Why do you get back more Magicka? I guess they're all longer cast times. Okay, whatever. Adjusted many bonuses from sets, abilities, and passes to better equate for these changes, which are listed under their sourced areas. Okay. Fix an issue with dual wield medium attacks could deal more damage than the fully charged counterparts in some cases. Yeah, true. So far, so good, Malgus. Alright, developer comment, spoiler. During the Greymore era, we ran a test where we refactored the functionality of light and heavy attacks. While we ended up not implementing those changes due to player feedback, there were many positive notes and remarks we took away from the change list overall. This time around, we're implementing the good parts from the received feedback and avoiding the other areas. Overall, we are keeping light attacks in place of the top DPS producing results, albeit at a much lesser extent than what they were before. Heavy attacks will remain more resource driven, but now also produce significantly less DPS losses than before. The main reason for streamlining these values was to reduce the bloat of damage production they can provide at a high level, reinforcing an intense necessity to perfectly lightweave to produce viable damage, while simultaneously retaining their damage levels at the low end for those who rely on them to not be negatively affected. In doing so, we've also been able to adjust item sets that augment these effects to be more impactful, without the concern of creating higher burst potential in PvP environments, helping accessibility in all environments. Alright, so this is what we're talking about. These are the light and heavy changes coming. Keeping numbers flattened out. Dude, I remember that. I remember they tried to flip everything, right? It was like lights were going to be resource shit or something, dude. Oh, man. Yeah, we could talk about this maybe more towards the end. Maybe I'll read through and we'll hit that more in the TLDR. Let's read the facts. Adjusted player dots to generally follow these rules. Abilities will now last 20 seconds, up from 10. That's another big thing we're going to see, apparently. Everything's duration is going to be doubled pretty much. And the damage will be spread across that time. The dots will do less per tick, but they last longer. In PvE rotations, this means you get more time to use your whatever your main spam skill is. Is it pointless to weave in PvP now? No. It still adds damage. Right? Think of it like a free enchantment or something, right? Yeah, damage is damage, right? Alright. Almost all dots now tick on a 2-second frequency rather than 2 seconds if they were single target and 1 if they were area of effect. Abilities now deal roughly 2 times the amount of damage than a normal spammable, such as Lava Whip or Concealed Weapon would, up from 1.5. Since they will now take longer to deal this damage, this will result in approximately 33% overall DPS decrease for dots, while making them more worthwhile in a long-term fight and easier to keep up. And that's the main goal, is they want to put in things that are easier to keep up. Again, impacts spread easy over that PvE, but in a PvP environment, dots are going to take a hit. You put a dot on someone, he's taking less pressure per second. Okay? Most costs have been untouched, reducing the overall cost per second of these abilities by half. Okay. Individual notes for affected abilities will be listed in their source skill lines. Alright. Developer comment. In this update, we're re-evaluating our damage over time standards and cleaning up a lot of the power discrepancies between them, which are stagnating diversity of weapon choice in a lot of areas. Overall, we're trying to improve accessibility of damage production in the game while simultaneously lowering the overall maximum DPS potential when playing super efficiently. As such, we've made dots effects easier to keep up. In addition to more obvious winners in terms of damage production over a spammable, but now with the added caveat that they take longer to deal their damage. This will create situations where damage over times will have more clear advantages and disadvantages, making them easier to decide when to use and to upkeep or counter. Okay. Yeah, I talked about this a little in the thing. I'll probably, again, just talk about it after. TLDR. Adjusted the power of player healing over time abilities. Okay, I was interested to see this one. Single target healing over times now heal for 1.5 damage of spammables over the duration, rather than 1.8. Ooh. Area of effect healing over time abilities now heal for 2 times the damage of a spammable over the duration, rather than 1.8. Yeah, but they're going to be lighter too. Almost all these abilities will tick once every 2 seconds, rather than 2 seconds if they were single and 1 if they were AoE. Almost all these abilities will now last 10 seconds in duration, while some class skills have been increased to 20 seconds, rather than varying durations between 8 and 10. Individual notes for affected abilities are listed in the source skill lines. Okay. Healing nerfs? Yeah, so HOTS will be adjusted in the same way dots will. They'll be spread over a longer window, and as a result, you'll get less per tick. The thing about it is, a lot of healing in PvP, there's a lot of healing that is, like a lot of people stack a lot of people stack HOTS with their groups. All groups do this big time. But even beyond that, even in smaller group or whatever, you get multiple hots and they fill in the cushion to heal you constantly. If they're ticking in longer windows every 2 seconds, and they're ticking for less, there's an overall loss of healing there, and healing has been tuned up pretty good right now. So that probably moves healing in the right direction. The thing is with PvP is it's still very bursty, so you're not going to have hots to cover you as well. Just more burst healing, high health, still needed, all that. What's up, Dutch? Welcome. To be honest, bad players refreshing dots too fast or using them when they're an overall DPS loss for the GCD opportunity cost will only increase the skill cap. It's just a more boring to play ESO as spammy combat. It's one way to look at it. How much do players spam like a dot in a PvE rotation? Or how often are they refreshing it early? In most cases, if people are doing that, they're not even trying, and they're probably doing content where they don't have to try anyway, right? So, did I just read the healing one? There's a different one. No, there's two. Lots of spoiler. Okay. Since damage over time has been adjusted in this update, it means we also need to reevaluate some of our healing standards as well to ensure they feel properly balanced against one another. In order to preserve the more reactive gameplay our healer and support roles fulfill, we opted to not make healing over time effects easier to keep up in most cases, with few exceptions with class skills. Currently, healing over time feels significantly stronger than damage over time, and we're attempting to address that in a few ways. Sticky healing over time effects that apply to a character will now be weaker than before, while area-based healing over time will be ever so slightly stronger. The logic there is that area-based healing currently feels far riskier to engage with as it roots you to an area, making you more susceptible to burst and higher damaging area of effect attacks. While single target healing effects can stack much easier and allow for free range of movement. Neither of these adjustments should make healing in PvE environments terribly difficult either, as there's an overabundance of overhealing in those encounters. And the boost to area of effect based healing over time should improve some skill options. Dude, I don't do endgame PvE. I don't understand it though. The amount of because seeing how strong healing is in PvP and that it's reduced by 55%. And these are off characters which are building for a lot of survival. People in PvP overheal dramatically, while it's reduced by 55%, and their health is much higher, has to be, and they're built for defense. So in PvE, you're built like a razor, you know? High damage, low health. So the amount of healing that's there, I always wondered, and I never understand it. One hot tick in PvE probably heals you for 30% of your health or something, at least. I just don't understand, why is it that high? You know? Grand healing is considered what? That would be what they're talking about. Ground-based AoE heal. I'm trying to think, how many ground-based AoE heals over times. Combat prayer is an instant AoE heal. Obviously, grand healing's in there. Regen's not ground-based. Nightblades have their path, which heals over time. A lot of healing is sticky healing, but there's been plenty of metas where people spam springs on each other. So increasing that doesn't really... I guess... So here's my point. While area-based healing over time will be slightly stronger, and you're talking about pushing this into PvP and saying the logic, okay, It's great, but this isn't how it works. The logic's that the area-based healing feels far riskier to engage as it roots you in the area. So again, I would just invite you to Cyrodiil and see how much like a 12-man ball group feels rooted by putting down healing springs while their group runs with treaders. All right, and they're all just pounding springs as they go. Those metas have existed before. There's no reason they can't continue to do so. It's more of a heal stacking is a problem. No more radiating region, it'll be healing springs. It could be a little of both. That's the thing. I guess the thing with PvP is people don't even stack healing to the full effects. It's mainly way tuned up because of how well it stacks when you start stacking them. So just making them unique would be good. Like you can only receive one healing spring, you can only receive one regeneration. Doing that would probably help. But yeah. Anyway. Throat's very dry. Ugh, it's tough to read a lot. Adjusted target dummies with raid buffs. The following changes. Alright, I don't care about target dummies. Alright, I don't care. Fix an issue where pet-based attacks are not interacting with stealth. Okay. Empower. This buff now increases light and heavies by 1800 rather than 40%. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we saw the empower change I was talking about earlier. I don't know what it's going to do now. Well, that's what it does. Alright. Flat damage. Boom. 1800. Alright. Yeah. It looks like it's going to suck in PvP then. I mean, the heavy attack build. Sorry. Heavy attack build is probably going to suck in now. So, good. Healing will still be strong in 12 mans. It'll be ungodly strong. The ability to stack heals with groups is not something that's being targeted well. Yeah. To put it frankly, like the logic here is that area-based healing feels far riskier to engage as it roots you in the area. Like this, the exact wording of this sentence speaks volumes. The logic, like translation, I have never been to Cyrodiil in 3, 4, 5+ years possibly. I don't know what's happening, but logically speaking, and then you make your change, right? Like, it's important if you want to adjust stuff for PvP that you witness it at least more than a few times, that you get involved, that you throw some of the large grand possibilities at it and see what it's capable of. Experience it, watch it, take it in for a minute, because if you're just bouncing from logic and a spreadsheet, you're not going to make an impact, unfortunately. All right, it can't be purely data driven. So you got to get your hands dirty. All right, that's what they say. Get in there, get involved. Go out to Cyrodiil. All right, and if you don't want to go out to Cyrodiil, the fuck does that say? All right, get out there, check it out. Dragon Knight. Here we go. Ardent Flame. Now we're on the class bounce changes. Here we go. Let's see where the meta's going. Fiery Breath. Increase the duration of this ability and its morphs to 20 seconds. Up from 10. Alright, I imagine we're going to see a lot of these. These are going to be dot changes, and I'll just kind of cruise through them. Reduce the damage per tick by approximately 17%. So we're going to see a lot of the stuff happening. Dots across the board. Fiery Chains. Empowering Chains. Increase the duration of empower of this morph to 10 seconds, up from 3. Big poggers. I don't want to downplay like the empower stuff too, but you're weaker and you're in net gain, but it's still there and important to do. It's like having a little enchant, all right, on your weapon. Okay, so you still want to weave it. People are asking, should we still weave? Yes, damage is damage. Lava Whip, Molten Whip morph. This morph now calls the ability To split the cost, half stamina and half magicka. Whoa. Reduce the stacking damage bonus to Molten Whip by 20% per stack, down from 33%. Get fucked. Did they do this so you can't stack like reduce cost enchantments on one? I don't know. Interesting. Increase the weapon and spell damage per stack. It's up to 100, up from 75. The weapon and spell damage portion of Seething Fury no longer consumed when using Molten Whip. To help this ability become more available to hybrid builds, we've opted to take a very unique route with this ability, where the cost is now split between magic and stamina. In doing so, we hope to see more unique interactions with the skill, as well as aiding more stamina-focused Dragonites in sustaining the skill. Okay. This is a big one, though. Reducing the stacking damage of Molten Whip to 20 per stack, down from 33. Alright. That's a big one. Okay. Mag DK mains right now. They're in shambles, dude. Where's Vin? Vin, did you uninstall yet, dude? It's happening. The hammer's coming down, dude. Searing Heat. Reduce the damage done bonus this passive to 25, down from 33. In shambles, dude. Another blow to the Dragon Knight. Searing Strike. Increase the duration of this ability and s'mores 20 down 10. Reduce the damage per tick by 25. Okay. Burning Embers morph. Increase the amount of healing this morph allows up to 100%. Up to 100% of the damage caused, up from 50%. The previous reduction was made as a stopgap before this pass could be completed. Now that the ability deals less damage per tick, we feel comfortable bumping it back up. Okay. Alright. That's not bad for them. You don't do enough damage, though, and your dots are hitting like shit. What kind of Dragon Knight are you, though, right? While your dots are ticking for less damage. Alright. Your whip starts to turn into a wet noodle. What are you doing out there, dude? You know? Give people car wash. Venomous Claw. This morph now increased damage done per tick by 9 to 12%, down from 17 to 20 as it now stacks up for longer to a higher value. Okay. Talons from Draconic Power. Reduce the cost of this ability and Burning Talons morph to 3780, down from 4050, to help them be slightly more accessible and usable for the fact that immobilization may fail in many cases. Okay. Inhale. Reduce the cost of this ability and morphs to 3500, down from 4000. Originally, this was higher in cost to account for the fact that its initial hit damaged and healed. But since these values are each half of the AoE base attack, it wasn't gaining additional ability functionality, which dictates costs. So we're easing it back to make up for this oversight. Protective Scale. Protective Plate morph. Increase the duration of the snare and immobilization immunity to 4, up from 2. What's that? Wings? I haven't seen anyone use wings in years, dude. I told you that Pain's gonna delete his DK. Yeah. That's alright. He's already been playing a Nightblade, dude. I saw him come out with the Oaken DK, whipping people for a few weeks. How long can that keep any person busy, right? It's like, what'd you do this week? I used Whip. I popped Corrosive Armor and I used Whip all week. It's like, oh, okay. So, you can only do it for so long. And frankly, like, DK revolves a lot around dots. And these dot changes are not going to be kind to the Dragon Knight overall. You know? What do you think about Nocturnal's ploy? Was that the buff removal set? I think it was, right? That looks effective, Giazzo. It looks toxically effective. I want to see how it works. Maybe someone that has PTS, because I don't have it, can test. Here's my question with it, Giazzo. If I have Hurricane on and you hit me and rip off, you know, Like Major Resolve. It just take Major Resolve and then it leaves Hurricane on. Because I would still have Minor Expedition. I'm wondering if it's buggy. Alright. Let me cut to the chase with what I'm really asking. Is it broken? Did anyone test it in a player versus player combat environment? Alright. Check it out. Alright. Spiked Armor. This ability in S'mores now deal flame damage rather than magic damage. Okay. They're going to burn you now with their Spiked Armor. Increased Volatile Armor. Increase the duration of dot. Okay. Dot change. We don't need to read it. Okay. Also, do you not have visual indication your armor buff goes away? Yeah, exactly. That's what I was wondering, Maggio. Like, those exact kind of things. I'm betting it doesn't remove the visual. But I don't know. I mean, technically, Hurricane, for example, would have 3 components. It'd have Minor Expedition, the major armor buff, and the damage portion. You know? So... I honestly don't understand how they haven't completely separated PvP and PvE balancing at this point. I guess I would require them to bring in a dev that actually plays PvP, has some understanding of what's actually happening on the ground. Yeah. Can you ask me that again after we get to this? I want to read through the patch notes. We'll do the TLDR. Hit me with that again. Just copy paste it on me a little. DK's getting total shit on. Yeah. They're getting... Scary, you gotta make them great again. Earthen Heart, we're not done yet. Ash Cloud, this ability in S'mores now lasts 20 seconds, up from 15. This ability now ticks every 2 seconds rather than every 1. Increase the cost per tick of Ash Cloud and Cinder to 630 to match the frequency adjustments. Increase the healing per tick of this ability by approximately 94%. This ability in Cinderstorm now tick 1 extra time over the duration. Increase the healing per tick on Cinder and S'mores by approximately 88%. Yeah, y'all are just gonna be standing in AoE healing, dude. You're gonna be blocking an AoE healing, screaming. No one's gonna die. Okay. She's gonna be like, I'm healed. Look at these heals. We're pumping them. Eruption. Reduce the cost of this ticks. Morph to 315 down from 378 to ensure its cost similar dots. Okay. Molten Weapons, Igneous. This morph now extends the duration up to 60 seconds, up from 45. Wow. Molten Armaments. This morph now grants the caster empower for the duration of the effect rather than increasing the damage of their heavies by a unique value. You're going to have empower, which is huge, dude. An extra like 100. 1150 or 1800 something. Huge, dude. Petrify. This ability in S'mores now deal flame damage rather than magic damage. Okay? So they cleaned up some things there. You see all those cool things they did in the Dragon Knight pass? They boosted your healing on like 4 different skills. They destroyed your whip a little bit. Hell yeah. Okay. They made a few of those things like your Spiked Armor and Petrify. They're flame damage, dude. You're going to be burning people. Alright, so fun times for the Dragon Knight. Fun times. Up next is the Necromancer. The Gravelord. Boneyard. This ability in S'mores now tick every 2 seconds over 20 seconds rather than every second over 10. The dot change. Increase the damage per tick by approximately 21%. Fix an issue where this ability's bonus visual effect for consuming a corpse would fail to play. Okay. Death Knell. This passive now increases your crit chance by 4 to 8% per ability slotted, up from 2 to 4%. What the fuck? Dude, aren't Necros already really good? Why are you getting more crit chance again? What the fuck, dude? This was already an amazing skill. How do you go and just double it? How did that happen in the feedback? Do you still have to buy Necromancer? Do you still have to pay for this, right? Yeah? Oh, okay. Jesus Christ, dude. Come on, guys. That's that one change right there. This line right here is better than everything here I just read. Okay? All this was just trumped by that one line. Okay? Like, what the fuck, dude? It was already really good. You get crit chances good, guys. 8% per ability slotted? 8%, dude. That's a lot. It's like a Mundus, dude. You know, gain an extra Mundus whenever you play Necromancer. Just throw on another one. Boom. Jesus, dude. 8. Wow. All right. Okay, Rapid Rot. This passive now increases your damage done with dots effects by 5 to 10%, down from 7 to 15%. All right, who cares? All right. I mean, that it's 5% down for the dots, but I know. And don't this is a really good skill too for PvE especially. I think that's kept them up there along with skills like this, dude. I just don't understand why this happened. I don't understand why that's there. Is that something in the feedback? Necros, everyone's playing them for extra crit chance, but what do you guys think about doubling it? Double or nothing, guys. Double down. I like it. I like the strength in your decision making. Balls the Cave, thank you for 43 months. Welcome back. You missed the rant? No, we're just reviewing patch notes, dude. It's just for execute. Sheesh. It's not... I understand, but do you understand, like, how paramount that is in that realm? Alright. You know what? Fuck it. I'm wrong. Alright. I didn't get through the rest, but... yeah, we'll see. You tell me... We gotta go ask some PvEers if fucking Necro's gonna be more used or not. Alright. Alright, go ask them. Okay. Anyway, here we go. Shocking Siphon. This ability is more now tick every 0.666 over 20 seconds rather than once every 0.333 over 12. Increase the damage by approximately 30%. Okay. Skeletal Mage. This ability in Smorse now lasts for 20 seconds, up from 16, and also reduce the cost of the ability. Okay. Increase the radius of the splash to 5, up from 4. Increase the damage done per stack, up to 15, up from 5. Was Necro weak this patch? Or something? Stacking damage might be big. Yeah, I mean, Necro's the strongest in PvE, top. Then why is it getting buffs right now? Yeah, because when people come into my channel, they're like, hey, what should I play for PvE? I usually will say, like, if you want to just do big numbers, Necro's really good. Just keeps getting good. Necros rely on dots, that's why I buff. Yeah, but dot damage is not going down. It's not like all the dots are weaker now. They'll still do dots. And then they'll run their spammables. Whatever. Let's just keep going, dude. Dots are weaker per second. Right, but you get in more spammable. I guess with the dot passive going down, their overall damage will reduce there. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Anyway. Let's keep moving. I mean, yeah. I'm not here for the PvN game. I mean, that's not really my department. It doesn't need a buff in top trial groups. Most of them are calling for a nerf to the Necro. Okay. Strong, because it's a paid class. Yeah. Alright, Death Scythe, the Hungry Morph. Heal over time. This now lasts 10 seconds and ticks every 2, rather than lasting 5 seconds and ticking every 1. Increase the heal over time to 6% of your max health, up from 2? Okay. Buff. Grave Grasp. This ability and its morph's minor maim now lasts for 10 seconds, up from 5. Increase the duration of minor maim in this morph to 15 seconds, up from 7. Increase the duration of Empower granted from this morph to 10, up from 5. Power for pets now increases their damage and healing potency by a flat 1,000 rather than 40%. Power can now target Blast Bones as well. What? Why? Blast Bones don't light attack. Are they saying this will increase your Blast Bones damage by a flat 1,000? Is that what they're saying? Fuck it, dude. Alright. Living Death. Restoring Tether. This ability is morphs now tick once every 666 instead of 333. Increase the healing per tick by approximately 81%. Okay. Spirit Mender. Reduce the healing per tick of this ability and morphs by approximately 48%. Fix an issue where this ability and morphs could sometimes lose a tick of healing when cast. This was the this is the juice healer. It's the thing that's doing like tens and tens of thousands per in 3 seconds. Right. The Spirit Guardian morph fixed an issue where the transfer damage from this morph was not applying to the Guardian's health, circumventing the risk of the ability ending early in situations you are taking a significant amount of damage over the duration. It will now die after absorbing 3,000 total damage, meaning after damage reductions you can take up to 30,000 damage over its duration before it will perish. Wow. That's almost one heavy attack in this patch. Okay. It just dies, yeah. Needs to get a corpse. Okay. Alright, and that's it for Necro. Okay, overall for Necro, not bad, dude. It looks like you guys are great and you're doing great still. Congratulations, Necro mains. You did it again. Another one. Alright. Nightblade. Assassination. Assassin's Blade. Killer's Blade. This morph now causes execute scaling to change in a linear increase of up to 400% damage done to targets under 50% health, rather than the static 300 to targets below 25%. The heal from this morph now scales off your highest offensive stats rather than max health. Wow. How much does it heal for? 400 damage to targets under 50%. That adds a lot of utility. When do you hit 400%? I wonder. Also, when do you hit 300%? To compare it. Nightblade best class? I mean, that definitely increases putting Killer's Blade in your bar a lot more, so it's tough. I mean, it's a dodgeable skill, but it's But yeah, being locked under 25% or it was a complete wash of a skill to use. Pretty tough. Basic executioner now. Yeah, exactly. It's like the two-hander one. Blur. This ability and S'mores now reduce the cost of your next roll dodge by 10% whenever you take direct damage, stacking up to a maximum of 100%. Oh wow. With a half-second cooldown between each stack. Reduce the duration of this ability in S'mores to 20 seconds, down from 26. Jeez. That's nice. Does this still do evasion too? That's a lot of resources saved. Free dodge every 5 seconds, yeah. Yes, it still does. Jeez. That's stacked. Holy smokes. You know, I feel like that's a rule breaker, dude. Reducing the cost. This should be a set, dude. Mark target. This ability is S'mores now once again costs magic rather than having no cost. The abilities will now heal you to a full health when a marked enemy dies. To sweeten the risk-reward gameplay. This heal ignores Battle Spirit, but does not ignore other healing reductions or bonuses. What risk? Okay. The risk of using Magicka? What? Okay. You think that's a fucking risk, dude? Try using Dawnbreaker in PvP on a hill. That's a fucking real risk-reward gameplay. I mean, that's the ultimate spicy edition of risk versus reward. You never know what's going to happen. Is Tarek going to get hit? Is he going to get stunned? Did it just whiff? You're losing the fight. You're under pressure. You never know. Reaper's Mark morph. Increase the duration of Major Berserk granted to 10 seconds. Up from 5. Since the morph no longer increases the healing done, as that would be unnecessary. And this one, you don't even need to kill them, right? Like, you don't even have to kill the target for that, right? You can just put it on someone that's getting zerged down. He dies, and then you're like, we're locked in. Just on death. Yeah, that's... I don't know. 5 was tight. 10? I can make sure my buffs are up. I can stealth up and get to where I need. Pop someone. Okay. Alright. Teleport, Strike, Lotus Fan, Morph. Increase the duration of the damage over time to 20 seconds, up from 10. Reduce the damage per tick, though. Okay. The Shadow. Aspect of Terror. This ability in S'mores now apply major cowardice to enemies hit for 10 seconds. Increase the target cap of this ability to 6, up from 3. Mass Hysteria. This morph now removes the target cap from the ability. Why? Okay. Wow. Manifestation of Terror morph. This morph no longer fires 2 traps, instead fires 1 trap at your location. As it was allowing you to effectively double the target cap and step on the morph distinction of Mass Hysteria. Reduce the duration of the trap to 20 seconds, down from 1 minute. Reduce the duration of the fear to match the base ability. Reduce the cost of this morph to 3240, down from 3780. This morph no longer summons a pet for a brief second to fear the target, but now instead immediately fears the target. To reduce situations where it could fail to go off. Wow. Alright. A lot of bonuses in there. A lot of reduced. Path of Darkness. This ability in S'mores now lasts 20 seconds, up from 10. These abilities now tick every 2 seconds instead of once per second. They now apply their effects instantly rather than after a delay. That part of it's really good. Because the thing with this shit is you're probably casting this like right away. At most you get that, now you can get that initial tick and one more after 2 seconds. It's usually going to be recast on refreshing path at least. So I don't even, do people even use twisting path? I don't know. Reduce the damage for tick this morph by approximately, okay, who cares. Shadow Cloak, Dark Cloak morph. This morph now heals you for 17 to 20% of your missing health per tick, rather than 9.2% of your max health per tick. No. What are they doing, dude? Man. Dude, they're just this is like DK's brawler build. Okay? You can't be a Dragon Knight 2, Gilliam. Alright, you gotta pick one class, dude. Buy the Necromancer. They're already juiced. You can't become another class 2. That's not fair. Shit's already fierce, man. That's per tick, dude. Per tick. What's going on, dude? No one's gonna play Brawler Blades. Alright. They want Nightblade to not cloak. Yeah, well, okay. Summon Shade. This ability and its morphs now lasts 20 seconds. Rather than ranking up to between 12 and 18 seconds. Increase the damage per hit of Summon Shade and Shadow Image by approximately 16%. Reduce the cost of this ability in Dark Shade to $29.70 down from $40.50. Dark Shade morph. Reduced the damage per hit of this morph by approximately 25%. And then Shadow Image reduced cost. Veiled Strike. Surprise attack. This morph now also always critically strikes when flanking enemy. Alright, dude. Come on. It's already packed. It's packed with shit. It sunders automatically. It does stuff. It's good. You're fine, dude. It now also always critically hits. Come on, man. Who beat the shit out of you the last couple patches that you gotta go and do this? This is insane, dude. So no, you don't have to cloak to go back to that guy. Now you can Dark Cloak up. Now you can be a brawler, dude. You can always critically strike, dude. Have the best of both worlds. Why not? Come on, dude. That's insane, dude. Concealed Weapon morph. This morph now, I'm scared to know what this morph might do. This morph now passively grants minor expedition whilst. Why not? Why not, dude? Hey, Stam Circuit's minor expedition. Why don't I have that? Yeah, fuck it. Throw it in. Instead of increasing your movement speed by 25% while in sneaker invisible. Okay. At least you trade it for something. I thought you were going to throw it on top. This morph now also increases your weapon and spell damage by up to 300 for 15 seconds after. Oh, get the fuck out of here, dude. You want a little everything, dude. Throw me a little vampire that stacks with my vampire. Come on. Currently, the Nightblade's melee spammable options are a bit behind other melee spammables in terms of both flavor and impact. Says who, dude? No way. So we're adjusting both morphs. Give some love. Surprise Attack's morph option reinforces the need for positioning as an assassin. It doesn't. Dude, no. It absolutely doesn't. It's so easy to get behind a target in this game because of how slow the game is to react. And if I actually jump in game to show this, it's disgusting what it is now. I can see a Nightblade and I know he's going to go behind me, and I can't stop him from doing that. Unless I do a 180 before he gets behind me. Because by the time the target's behind you, what I see on my screen, on my client, he's still in front of me. And now I've been stunned because on his client, he's behind me. And that's what gets sent to the server. It's such bullshit to sit here and act like it's difficult to get behind someone. Come on, dude. No way. It doesn't even exist. It's not even a thing. Oh, come on. The need for positioning. Who is an assassin, and it continues to add some minor damage with the Sundered proc. Yeah, I know it. While Concealed Weapon retains its stealthy and agile emphasis, with less restrictions and more reward for playing from the shadows. Okay. More damage. Okay, that's what it is. All right. Where's the risk reward I read a little bit ago? Where's that at, dude? Holy shit, man. That's impactful on top of some of this other stuff up here, dude. You can, all right. Yeah, Nightblade's looking good. All right. Nightblade and Necro. Dude, if you read these two and then you read the Dragonite changes, then you would be in for a real reality check. Then you'd be like, dude, why am I playing my Dragonite right now, dude? I just read 2.5 pages of getting dumped on, you know? Like, come on, dude. Oh, all right. All right, siphoning. We're not done. There's still potentially more in here. Cripple. This ability and its morphs now last 20 seconds, up from 10. Okay. Reduce the damage per tick. Crippling Grass morph now also reduces the cost. Yeah, why not, dude? Just make it a little cheaper. Call it standardization. Fuck it. All right. Do you get snared then? Do you get snared for 20 seconds now? Is that what happens? Ganking's back on the menu, boys. All sorts of options back on the menu. Whoever said it, like, yeah, you can cloak, but dude, like this, I would be very interested to see how this is on a Brawl Blade. I would be very interested. And then if you don't even need stealth, if you can just sit here and cut back and forth on your enemy, and just be a brawl. I'd be very interested to see those put together. Malevolent Offering. Increase the duration of minor mending to 10 seconds, up from 8. Fuck it, dude. Standardization. Okay. Why not? 10. Alright. That's it. Alright. All done there. On to the next things. 40k HP Brawl Blade with auto surprise attack crits. That's what I'm saying, but you could. Alright, you could be really juiced. Here's the thing, there's abilities to build and juice your crit damage very effectively. And if you can always hit those and be able to pour into other places while still getting those sharp spikes of damage, especially on a spammable, okay. Alright, let's see what they did to Sorcerer. I imagine there's got to be nerfs in here. And frankly, there should be. The Bow Sork shit right now is annoying. Okay? It's annoying, to say the least. Coming from a Sork that refused to put on Savage Werewolf and Overload with bound armaments. Okay? And for all you guys out there, you're like, you've played this game for like 6-7 years, you know? Mechanically, you're very well off, right? You're a great player, you could play any class. And you had to defer yourself to say, oh, I can play anything, but I think I'll play Sorcerer with Savage Werewolf and Overload and Bound Armaments. You suck, alright? There's a reason you're just running through these absolutely broke-ass ESO builds and you can't get off them. It's because you get your shit kicked in every other fucking game that you try to go to that doesn't have some broken mechanics that you can just steamroll people with, alright? It makes you feel good. I'm gonna call it what it is. I hope the nerfs are in there for you, buddy. I hope you're gutted, and then you'll be on Nightblade in no time. I can already see it. Extro Vertigo, thank you for the T1. Welcome. Granis, thank you for 29 months. Welcome back. Thanks for the resub. Call it base. That's facts, dude. That's reality. Alright? That's what it is. Alright? All you guys been playing a while, you know exactly who I'm talking about. There's plenty of them out there, okay? Says the dude playing 1-bar Nightblade. I played it for 1 day, dude. Alright? I played it for 1 day. Alright? Vin, you played it for a week. Alright? You played it for a week after coming off DK saying it was too weak. Alright? You can't sit here and lecture me when you don't even live in reality, dude. Alright? Because that's your reality. Blame the game, not the players. That's the cheesiest shit ever. Game made me, bro. Game made me this way. I know I'm a piece of shit. Game made me. All right? Like you're clean. Like you've been given some fucking pass. All right? To go and defer to something so simplistic. So, you know, if you're that good, take up something that no one else is doing and beat those players with it. All right? They're the people that get remembered. All right? The people that try to do a little more. All right? You sat on Crystal Weapon for months? Get out of here, dude. I've been using Crystal Weapon. I just don't use it with a bow. Not a cheese dick meta build player. All right? Let's move on, dude. Let's move on. Let's get to the sorcerers. Let's see some nerfs in here. Dark Magic, Crystal Shard, Crystal Weapon. Right off the bat. Reduce the damage stability by 41.5%, so that it does 130% of a ranged spammable attack between both attacks, rather than 200% of a melee spammable. Reduce the cost to $29.83, down from $34.43, to make up for the above adjustments. Also, why didn't they just make this skill do way more damage in melee, or only used with melee? Like, part of the problem that they ran into with the Crystal Weapon changes is they just allowed you to use bow or destro or whatever, and you can just sit at range and peg with it. They're like, guess we'll have to gut it. And frankly, fuck it, gut it. Go ahead, do it. But why not try to create something like where it's not just like it's either overtuned or it's gutted. There's nothing in between. Do we see where there's a problem with it? I don't know. Gut it. You know, and that's it. But here we go. In the previous update, we wanted to help reinforce the uniqueness of this morph by giving sorcerers the ability to change the rotation by having a spammable that persists through other ability activates. While we succeed in this, not adjusting the damage this morph caused it to spiral out of control in terms of raw DPS and burst potential. After spending a lot of time in testing, we believe we've hit the sweet spot, where the morph brings something unique and powerful without being too over the top. Okay. Alright, there it is. I think melee should hit hard and the range should be poop. Yeah, they could have halved its damage at range or something. They could have done some stuff with it. Alright, this is what happens. I don't mean to be insulting. When you have Spreadsheet Andy come in and he's just looking at numbers, alright? That's all you're going to get is very numerical solutions, okay? That's what happens. Like, you can't bounce from a spreadsheet. You can't. You have to play the game too. You have to be involved. You have to understand what's going on. You have to see the outliers. You have to understand. You got to look at these things. All right, Daedric Mines. Fix an issue where this ability and its morphs could detonate instantly on a target multiple times. There's now a short cooldown window where a target cannot be targeted again from the mines to prevent moments of immense instantaneous burst. This will also mean your mines will no longer detonate without dealing any damage to target, vastly improving the viability of this ability in a long-term encounter where a single enemy may walk through the area. Alright. It's been in the game for like 4 years. Dark Exchange. This ability and its morphs now restore their resources in increments of 2 seconds over the duration, up from 1. Reduce the healing of these abilities to 8,000, down from 8,090. Dark Conversion. Increase the amount of healing and resources restored rather than reducing the cost. As a result, the cost is now 3,240, up from 2,160, and now heals for up to 10k immediately, and restores up to 4,500 magicka and up to 3,000 magicka over time. That's a lot over time. They use the Dark Deal too. Increase the cost of this morph to 2,700, up from 2,430. The morph now also causes the secondary resource to return over 10 seconds rather than 20. Okay, it's a buff. You know, it's not huge. A lot of people spam Dark Deal, but you're gonna get more residual effect in the short term, which is helpful between resetting. Okay. Anything about increase in spaces for houses? Not that I'm aware of. Probably not. That's gonna cost. That's gonna put strain on the hardware, and they're limited in that department generally. Circ burst heal, yeah, on this one. But yeah, dark. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Bound armor. This ability in Bound Aegis now also give minor protection for 10 seconds after casting. Oh wow, we're handing out minor protection over here too. How about it? Never thought I'd see Sorks pick up another major minor. Which sucks because I hate this skill. I hate bound armaments. I hate the way it works. It only was effective right now with the bow Sork stuff because you were spamming lights in an overtuned environment setup. It was free fluff damage, and it also provided extra regen stats off the passives. It will still maintain that place, especially given minor protection in there, which I feel like minor buffs are being handed out all over the place now. And then eventually you get a nerf, and devs are like, "What are you guys doing? You're power creeping again." It's like, how would I have not? Look what you've done. Okay, Bound Armaments. This ability no longer passively increases your light attack damage. Wow, did they not replace it with anything? And they reduce the damage per hit of this ability. Get fucked, dude. Gutted. 38%? I hated this skill. This just tells me not to use it even more. But dude, they just... How do you do it and not give it anything, though? Block mitigation that lasts for 5 seconds. Morph extends duration. We're bringing this morph down to match a lot of the hybrid adjustments that the class has received. It was originally intended to help give Stam Sorks a powerful option of DPS skill, since they couldn't use any other shiny abilities, such as Curse or Crystal Fragments. Now that those can be properly utilized on any build, this ability was enabling too much power that could just be dumped at a moment's notice when used in tandem with even just one of the others. That's fine. I hated it. And you nerf Crystal Weapon, so what do we get? And what do you get in replacement then? You know? What happened? What do you... It's fine. I agree that things were broken, but what do I do now? Right? Do I get on my Necro or Nightblade? What am I supposed to... What's left over? Alright, Summon Storm Atro. Reduce the duration of this ultimate. Okay. The base cost increased. Oh, Jesus. But reduce the cost back down to 200 when at rank 4. What? The Synergy Charge Lightning now goes to the Synergizer and 5 nearby allies in a 12 meter radius rather than the Synergizer and the Atro itself. This effect only targets players, as pets will inherit their own bonuses naturally. This morph now increases the damage of the Astronarch single target by 30% rather than increasing the duration. In the Summon Charge, the Astronarch from this morph now only uses its AoE attack rather than a mixture of single and AoE. It does it every 2 seconds. Ultimate is currently persisting for too long and creating scenarios where certain builds can get multiples of these impactful pets out and producing significantly more damage than any other ultimate in the game in relation to its cost. Okay. It's because you put in Oaken Soul. That's because you doubled down. Alright? That's because you wanted to sell fucking High Isle. Alright? You gotta call yourself out. Alright? Blame yourself where it's due, dude. With the reduced duration, it's now much more reined in while bringing more group utility with the improved synergy granting. Additionally, we've reinforced the distinction of each morph where the charge actually provides much more AoE damage and greater focus on single target. Okay. Alright. There you go. All those builds are about Oaken Soul. Goddamn right they were, dude. Yeah. You know? Like, you could just... yeah. Alright. Summon Unstable Familiar. Increase the duration of the special ability from this ability in 20 seconds up from 10. Okay. Reduce the damage per tick by approximately 23%. Smurf now stuns on the fourth and final tick of the ability rather than only on the final. Okay. Then we've got the winged guy. The Twilight Tormentor morph. Reduce the damage per hit of this morphs by 33%. Reduce the cost of the special ability. Increase the bonus damage to targets above 50% health to 60%, up from 53%. Okay. Alright. I don't even know how you bounce that thing. I don't even know how you arrive at something like this. I don't even understand. Storm Calling, Lightning Form. This ability in Smurfs now tick once every 2 seconds rather than every 1. Increase the damage per tick by 100%. Wow. Okay. I mean, it's terrible in PvP, but Hurricane Morph. This morph now increases damage by 12% per tick, up from 8%, along with the frequency adjustment. This will reduce the total maximum to 120%, down from 160. Whoa! Wait. Oh, the frequency. Fucking piece of shit, dude. Alright, whatever. Lightning Splash. This ability in S'mores now deal damage every 2 seconds, over 20. Increase the damage by 20%. These abilities can now tick one final time before ending. Okay. Okay. Alright. Well, overall for Sork, I mean, some of the very strong meta things were removed. It can still weave in some, like, nice bursts with Crystal Weapon and can still curse and execute and do that stuff. But, what does a Stam Sork do, though? Because I gotta say, I did not fall into the bow or Destro weaving ranged attack meta, which they made sure to hit, which is not bad, which is good, but they fucked everything else, you know. I've been playing melee with it, and it's rough, dude. There's a lot of damage out there. I don't know. Yeah, it's part of how I see it. Dazzler, like, why play that when you can do some of the others? Like, I don't know if the Crystal Weapon... Because the weird place Crystal Weapon gets left in is it's this supplemental damage that you can weave in. It basically took the place of a spammable, right? Like, classes have a spammable that they spam. And it was kind of covering that in conjunction with light attacks and double dipping with bound armaments then. Because Bound Armaments was buffing it, they removed that. Then you'd launch Bound Armament attacks, they nerf that damage, they nerf the Crystal Weapon. So they nerf all these things. Say you don't use Bound Armaments and you're just trying to weave Crystal Weapon, well, it's doing significantly less, and then what, right? So it's kind of... I don't know. Yeah, our one unique buff is on Nightblade. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that really puts Sork. Again, the Sork can still do like a Destro Weave, Curse, Endless Fury, Streak combo. They can do all that thing that they've classically done. It's not really a Stam Sork thing, and frankly, with the way health pools are now, and the way damage is high, but you can still have a high health pool, I don't know how many people you're going to kill with that shit. You see the curse debuff on you, you see the purple shit, you're like, oh, someone's cursing me. Here comes a light attack weave. Light attack weave comes, like, you know what's coming next, and like, if they're, you know, you either throw up a hot, you top off, you block before the streak comes and stuns you, you know, oh, I just need to CC break, hold block, and heal, and I'm good. And the dude's gonna go back to weaving. That's it. You know? Anyway. The Max Arc traditional build sucked for a long time. Yeah, it's because health bars have moved up a lot, so that combo doesn't really put people down as well. Anyway. We'll move on. I think they hit too much there. A little bit. And frankly, Crystal Weapon was not supposed to... it wasn't supposed to do what it was doing on range. Okay? Because if you put that on melee... Say it was a melee-only skill. In this patch, people would not be running around doing the Savage Werewolf Overload like melee thing. Actually, you could still use it with Overload. They'd have to disable it with that, too. That's another place you see the damage spikes, which is still there. Still happened. They didn't touch Overload. That's a big outlier. So, whatever. Who cares, right? Let's move on. Alright, Templar. Aedric Spear. Burning Light. This passive now triggers after dealing damage with any attack, rather than only Aedric Spear abilities. Oh, wow. Increase the cooldown of stack generation to a half a second, up from 1 second. Reduce the damage of the proc by 33%. Oof. Jesus, getting the DK treatment. Here we go. Like, if they don't like your class that patch, they start, like, you see it early and often. They're like, reduced by 33%, reduced by 33%. You'll just start seeing it chucked in there, dude. You know? Just check Delty's reaction to the new jabs. Is there a new jab? Alright, hang on. We didn't make it there yet. Slow down. Slow down. Whoa. Currently, his passive is strong-arming the Templar into only using puncturing sweeps as your spammable ability. Alright. DK is strong-armed into whip. Like, removing a lot of the potential for other abilities and center around different gameplay, with maintaining the original identity of keeping up the pressure against your primary target. We've removed the resistances of damage source completely and added a longer cooldown window to reduce burst potential and message spam on the server, helping the passive stabilize to a more expected power budget, while vastly improving its flexibility. What's a power budget? Okay. Thank you, developer comment. Alright. Puncturing Strikes. This ability and its morphs now hit 3 times over a channel of 800 milliseconds, rather than 4 times over 1. Implemented new animations and visual effects to match the attack cadence. New animations and visual effects. Woo. So this is what you're talking about. Okay. Reduce the cost of the... Anytime there's a new animation, something's going to go wrong. Alright? Something's not going to work right. Reduce the cost of this ability and the puncturing sweeps morph to 2300 down from 2700. So 400 less. Reduce the overall damage of the primary attack by approximately 21%. Since this ability no longer incurs a DPS loss while weaving within the 1 second GCD. Increase the damage of the area effect hits by approximately 7. Reduce the duration of the snare to 0.5 seconds per hit, down from 1. A puncturing sweeps morph. Reduce the healing of this morph to 33%, down from 40. Fixed an issue where this morph was only healing up to 5 times in a large target count encounters instead of the intended 6. Biting Jabs. This morph now also increases the damage of the AoE portion of the Biting Jabs by 25% in addition to the base 7. Okay. Interesting. Okay. It's a Weaver-friendly skill now. Noodle Jabs. Okay. Let me pull that up here. Hang on. Let's see. Did Deltia threaten to get his shovel out? Is he ready to bury this thing again? Alright, because that'll be real telling. Oh, sorry. Hang on, yeah. It's in slow-mo. Let me take it out of slow-mo, although the reaction...
No. This is
Okay. Let's put it in normal.
No. This is jabs! What? That's a noodle! You're swinging a noodle! This is the animation for jabs. You're got a pull arm noodle. They rip
It's
like
weaving.
glass.
It's weaving friendly.
What? It's a noodle. Where's my spear, brother? This is a freaking noodle.
All right. So he's not happy with it. I mean, it looks weaving friendly, right? Enjoy your jabs while they last. You know? What's this? Take notes. Look, the dog's like, dude, get it together. You fucking idiot. Get it. He's getting the pool noodle out. All right. For 7 years, I mained the Templar. Goodbye, old friend. Yeah. How? Is there a developer thing on this? Is this it currently? Oh yeah, strong arming. Okay. Yeah. The redness on his neck. Yeah, he gets out in the sun and he burns. That's what he does. All right. Here we go. All right, puncturing strike. Spear shards. Ability and spores now deal damage over 2 seconds over 20 rather than once over 10. Increase the damage by 33% of shards. That's it. Okay, Dawn's Wrath, Backlash, Purifying Light, Smorf, Heal. Now ticks every 2 seconds, over 10 seconds, rather than once every second for 6 seconds. Reduce the healing per tick by approximately 12%. Solar Flare, increase the duration of Empower granted from this ability, and Dark Flare to 5 seconds, up from 3. Okay. Everybody ready to be empowered? Get your light attacks going. Yeah, strong arm the jab's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I get what they're saying, but you know, yeah, what are you gonna do? Solar Barrage. This morph now lasts 20 seconds, up from 8. Reduce the damage. The damage visual in this effect now only pulse when successfully dealing damage rather than all the time. Sun Fire. This ability in morphs now lasts 20 seconds at base, up from 10. Just a bunch of dot changes, dude. Okay. Reduce this 10 up from 4. Big pog. Cleansing Ritual. This ability in S'mores now lasts 20 seconds, up from 12. These abilities now tick 1 extra time. See, here's the thing. When I look at all these things, mainly the healing ones, the dot ones in PvP are reduced per second. It's facts. A lot of these, like, heal effects, though, like the Refreshing Path or Cleansing Ritual, nobody's standing in these things for 20 seconds. Okay? And, like, I don't know. That's just part of the PvP, like, reality hit that happens. Nobody's standing in their things for 20 seconds, dude. And if they are, like, what is that? Yeah. All right. Reduce the healing per tick of this ability and extended ritual by approximately 3%. Okay. Smorf now increases by 12% damage per tick, up from 5%. Okay, reduce the damage per tick this one. Okay. And then we got a lot of dot changes here for the Templar. Hasty Prayer. Increase the duration of minor expedition granted from this morph 10 seconds, up from 5. Nobody's using Hasty Prayer. Okay. Although 10 seconds is a lot better than 5 for the group. Restoring Aura. This ability in Radiant Aura Morph now grant minor endurance, fortitude, and intellect to you and nearby allies for 20 seconds, rather than applying lifesteal to enemies. It will still passively grant these buffs for slotting the ability as well. Morph now also extends the duration of its effects for 60 seconds. So that's a big. That's pretty impactful. Right there. That's a big one. A lot of boring changes though. They rework your jabs and then 2 pages of dot changes. You know? Jesus Christ. Warden. The Animal Companions tree. Advanced species. This passive now increases your armor pen by 495, 900 per animal companion slotted, rather than damage done by 1 to 2%. Huh. Okay. Well, not bad. They're, I think 990 pens a little more than, but okay. Cutting Dive. This morph now triples the status effect proc chance of the attack and causes the ability cost to be refunded when hitting an off-balance enemy, rather than adding a stacking bleed. Honest to God, I totally forgot this skill was in the game. I have not seen it in so long. Screaming Cliff Racer morph. This morph now increases your weapon and spell damage by 100 for 10 seconds after hitting an enemy, and increases by an additional 200 when hitting an off-balance enemy, rather than increasing its damage done by 50% based on your distance from the enemy. Okay. Developer comment, no one's using this. Going back and adjusting this morph distinction, its abilities to help by helping them focus on different areas where we feel the Warden can struggle. With other damage over time adjustments, Cutting Dive was creating situations where there was no answer to deal with the ramping bleed, and the synergy with bleed sets was enabling specialized builds to bleed over the top. Instead, we've reinforced focus sustain versus overall pressure, new morphs, where Cutting Dive's refund can help cut through targets repeatedly with ease. And Screaming Cliff Racer's passive power. Okay, so can I just say, did I miss this? Or was this like an EU meta? And I mean this seriously, was this a thing? Cutting Dive was creating situations where there was no answer to deal with the ramping bleed? I mainly did BGs, but did I miss this? Was I unaware this was happening to me? Extracting, thank you for 9 months with the Prime. Welcome back. Thanks for the resub, dude. Has anybody experienced ramping bleeds that there was no answer to? Alright. No? A lot of no's. Nobody. Never. Dev got killed by it once. I hate to say it, but that's why I'm asking. Because I've seen a lot of issues, and some of the things are being addressed in some of these changes, like the Sorcerer is a good example, being addressed. I feel like this is just like something that happened to a guy once. And now I'm reading in a developer comment that there were situations there was no answer to deal with. You want to know a situation there's no answer to deal with? Streaming fucking Cyrodiil, alright? No answer to deal with it. Go out there and get picked off by people watching the stream with heavy attack builds. That's a situation there was no answer to, alright? That's a situation. Okay? This one, I don't know about. Stacking heals, no answer. This one, I don't think so, but okay. Alright. Just checking. This is one of the most overstated no answer to, dude. Alright, Falcon Swiftness. This ability and its morphs now also grant 4 seconds of snare and immobilization immunity after activating. That's pretty big for Warden players. They picked it up for, obviously, its passive and damage, its boost, plus animal companion tree. That's huge. Big. Big. I only see those birds when I'm in a dungeon full of level 20s. Okay, yeah. Because this, the only reason I point out, this has to happen in PvP. To say situations where there was no answer to deal with rampant bleeds. It's not like the mobs, like, they're bleeding too hard. And even in those cases, again, no one's using it there, right? Like, it's not like the mobs have no answer to something. They just die. Right? This is a PvP comment that seems out of touch to me. So I just wanted to check. Because, dude, this must have happened in, like, a under 50 battlegrounds. And that's concerning. And it's telling. Alright? Call it a small one-off, but this thing is way out of... It's a way out of line statement. Okay? From somebody bouncing your combat. Yeah. Alright, moving on. Scorch. This ability in its morphs now lasts for 10 seconds in total, detonating once after 4 and again after 6. After that, rather than only once every 3 seconds. Reduce the damage. Increase the cost by a lot. Subterranean Assault. This morph now reduces the time it takes for each damage event to occur, causing the damage to occur after 3 seconds and 5 seconds after that. Interesting. So, detonating once after 4 seconds, and again 6 seconds after that. What? Wait, are they really saying you cast it and go off after 4 seconds, and then at 10 seconds? It's not like a double punch at 4 and 6 seconds? It's at 4 seconds and 10 seconds it goes off. Alright. Okay, dude. And they reduce the damage? What? Hard to line up. No shit, dude. No shit. Alright. I mean, you're making combat changes for people that can't light attack weave. And you're gonna be like, get that internal clock going. That was 4 seconds. Boom, it hit. Count it off, though. Not another 4 seconds. It's going to be another 6 seconds. Keep them in line. Lock on target. All right? You're going to have to be fucking Luke Skywalker out there with your Warden. Because this shit, when you're swinging your character, does not go off exactly where you want. If you're turning while it's going, it will fire behind you. Warden players know what I'm talking about. You have to be going straight for, like, you know, a quarter to a half second before it's actually going to go that direction. Okay? So... good luck, dudes. With that morph, at least. Who cares, right? Because people use the other one. So, let's move on. Swarm. This ability in its morphs now lasts for 20 seconds, up from 10. Decrease the damage per tick. Increase the bonus damage on the second cast to 60%, up from 50. Wooey woo. Wild Guardian. The bear from this ultimate morphs now attacks once every 2 seconds instead of a mixture of timers. Reduced the damage of the bear's passive attacks by approximately 19%. Increased the cooldown of crushing swipe attack to 8 seconds, up from 5. So it better lines up with CC immunity timers, as this attack can stun enemies. It's probably only done so players aren't confused why the target isn't stunned again. Hate to see it, dude. This active ability, Guardian's Wrath, now has a 700 millisecond cast time for the bear, not your own cast, so that it properly matches up with the attack animation and reduces the desync potential of the attack. Feral Guardian morph. This morph now quintuples the status chance application of hemorrhaging instead of guaranteeing the effect to reduce the ease of access of the status without investment into applying it. This morph now also increases, and the other morph. This morph now also increases the execute scaling up to 150. Yeah, up to 150 instead of 100. So, little bear buff. All right, Ingram, the Bear Guardian, will be very pleased to read this. 5 times more than guaranteed. I think 5 times the normal versus guaranteed. Isn't the other morph called the Wild Guardian? Yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I have no idea. I've never played a bear build. I was watching a streamer, and he said he didn't like the combat because it was too slow. Well, I guess they're actually making it into a reality. What do you mean, new player? A new player playing the game? Or someone that plays it, but the game's just too slow. Green Bounce, Healing Seed, Budding Seeds, increase the healing per tick by about 3%. Nature's Grasp, reduce the healing per tick of this ability in Nature's Embrace by 33%. Damn, dude. Maggio in Ruins, it's never coming back. The Warden's dead, dude. Winter's Embrace. Arctic Wind. Arctic Wind. This ability in Polar Wind morph no longer deal damage over the duration. The healing over time now ticks every 2 seconds over 10 rather than every 1 over 5. Increase the healing per tick to 6% of your max health, up from 2.5. This morph now calls the initial heal and heal over time to target an additional ally rather than only the initial heal. Increase the healing over time by 20%. Hold on, Maggio, you're coming back with that one. You're going to be Polar Winding in, dude. Wow. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, our blast changes nicely. I'm getting that one now. Arctic Blast morph. This morph now causes the initial heal to scale off your highest offensive stats rather than your max health. This morph now causes the heal over time to be converted to a damage over time. This morph no longer ranks up in cost reduction. This morph now stuns on the second and final ticks. Rather than requiring hitting the same target 5 times in succession, stun is no longer unblockable. Okay. Changing a scaling's nice. Post-hybrid changes. Crystallized Shield. This is a fan favorite for me. Fix numerous visual errors with this ability and s'mores. What? Fix an issue where the shield could fail to grant its full value when recasting it while it was already active. Okay. The Crystallized Slab morph. Fix an issue where the third projectile would fail to visually appear in many cases. This morph no longer has a 500 millisecond cooldown, as it was allowing the ability to sometimes absorb more than 3 projectiles. Since the projectile limit exists, and this morph's damage return is not bound by a duration, but rather charges, the cooldown does not need to exist. This does, however, mean that builds that weave multiple projectiles in tandem will feel extreme pain when attacking users with this morph. I see. Gonna be rapid fire on you. Okay. That's the return fire morph, not the heroism one. Frozen Armor. Increase the amount of armor granted from this passive to 990 per Winter's Embrace skill slotted, up from 500. Okay. Ice Armor, Ice Fortress. Increased duration of this morph to 30 seconds, up from 25. Okay. Impaling Shards. Billion morphs now tick every 2 over 20 rather than 1 over 12. Increase the cost of this ability and Winter's Revenge to 3780, up from 3240. Increase the damage per tick of this ability and Gripping Shards by 11%. Increase the cost of this ability 3510, up from 3240. And then Winter's Revenge. Decrease the damage per tick of this morph by approximately 33%. Okay, wow. Through the classes. Overall, yeah, it does look like, it was already said and seen in chat, it looks like Nightblade and Necro just continues to eat out there, dude. They are feasting. They are feasting on patch notes every time. Nightblade's got some cool stuff. You know, it's kind of weird when this what happens when you get these really swinging changes patch to patch. If people are bound to their classes, some of these patch notes are really boring for some classes. Or beyond boring, they're discouraging sometimes. When you go through and see all these buffs for a class, including some that probably don't need it sometimes, and then you look at yours and you got to read 2 pages of negative stuff on how you have to adjust. It's like, shit, okay. You know? Never got some hard nerfs, did they though? The Mender nerfed by 48% and the Guardian can die. Yeah. That's... I'm gonna call it just like a hard... Like, that. Yeah, that skill's nerfed. It's not like, oh, I don't know if the Necro is gonna make it out there. It's not like the Necro gets by with that skill alone or some shit. Does it carry it through situations it can put itself in right now that it shouldn't be able to? Yeah. Yeah. Its healing's insane. And then the other morph can die. But, like, what is it really doing, the other morph, too? It's strong. It needs to change so much uselessly before changing CPs. They made it twice as hard. Yeah, none of the changes are wildly crazy. The Nightblade's got some pretty significant changes though. Healing on the Crow overall is getting nerfed, with Tether also taking a hit. Yeah, yeah. Let's keep tearing through. We got through the classes. We're going to go through the weapons. Here we go. Weapon, bow, volley. This ability in Smorfs now lasts 20, up from 10. Increase, okay. Endless Hail, Smorf now increased duration up to 10 seconds, up from 4. Big poggers. That's, does that work with the VMA bow, dude? Woo! Probably not. Probably nerfed as well. Poison Arrow. This ability in Smorfs now lasts for 20, up to 10. Increased the execute scaling to 120, up from 100. Okay. Already good. A little better. But okay. Destruction Staff. All elements. Ability Smorfs every 2 over 20. Smorf now increased duration of its effects by 10 seconds, up from 4. Destructive Touch. 20 to 10. Reduce the damage. Frost Clench. Okay. Frost Clench is a lot cheaper, huh? I didn't know that. What's up, Divine? Welcome. Necro overall got nerfed, but it got some slight offensive buffs to compensate. Okay. I don't know about that, but okay. Dual Wield Flurry. This ability in its morphs now hit 4 times over a channel of 800 MS rather than 5 over 600. Their total damage remains relatively the same. These abilities now have completely new animations and visuals. So not only jabs, but rapid strikes too. Also reduce the cost. Increase damage done. Net damage is slightly higher. Bloodthirst. Fix an issue where the heal from this ability is considered magicka rather than stamina. Okay. Twin Slashes. This ability in Smorfs now lasts 20. Increase the damage per tick. Rending also applies hemorrhage from the initial hit. Blood Craze. Smorf now heals anytime the ability deals damage rather than only when the dot deals damage. Huh. Okay. Blade Cloak. This ability in Smorfs now lasts 20. That's huge. Increase the damage per tick of this ability in Quick Cloak by 7%. Smorf now adds 10 seconds, up from 4. Reduce damage per tick on deadly cloak by 41%. Jesus, dude. Alright. Take it easy. Restoration staff. Grand healing. This ability is morphs now. Heal once every 2 seconds. Over 10 rather than once every 8. Increase the healing per tick by 100%. Lustrous healing. This morph now adds 10 seconds to the duration of the effect, up from 4. This morph no longer increases in healing. Done. And then springs. This morph now increases your magic recovery by up to 15 for every target healed, stacking up to 20 times. Rather than restoring up to 30 magicka for every target healed. Interesting. Yeah, so all groups are going to be swinging that one in. Fire Stressing. My 1vx character with Stab Sword. Can you give me a build to spam Warden, or is a game worth picking up coming back to? I don't want to shoot at that right now. Sorry, I'm just going through patch notes review. First. Sorry, I gotta focus on this. Otherwise I get sidetracked. Yeah, well said, Zuko. What Zuko said is kind of true. It's not fun, at least. 1vxing. Regeneration. Reduce the healing per tick of this ability and smorts by 40%. Rapid regen. This morph now also increases the healing done by up to 50% on targets under 100% health. That's a saving grace there, but yeah, it's tough because it only hits, like, you know, a limited target. Yeah. Alright, two-handed cleave, carve. Reduce the damage per tick. Critical charge, stampede morph. This morph now ticks every 2 seconds over 20. Then rather, okay, I'm just going to keep reading this. 2 over 20. Forceful, increase the splash to 100%. This is because they gutted heavy attacks. Who cares, right? Uppercut, wrecking blow, increase the duration of empower. Jesus. Just when you think you might read something excited tied to uppercut, dude, you read increase the duration of empower. Hang on, I gotta do another wrecking blow. I gotta get empower back up. Okay, back at it, you know? Okay. Yeah, the carve nerf seem inevitable. Alright, armor, heavy armor. Resolve, fix an issue where the passive bonus could fail to contribute to the effects that use physical or spell resist scale in many cases. As it was looking at your current target's information, derive its values rather than your own. Okay. Soul Trap. 20 seconds. Werewolf, Infectious Claws. This ability in Smorfs now lasts 20 seconds, up from 10. Reduce the damage. Reduce the amount of healing. Down to 66, down from 100. Claws of Anguish. Apply disease status effect rather than the initial. Do you know how much Werewolf relies on its light attacks that they really severely hit? Like, you have to come back and revisit Werewolf, and they're just like, yeah, not this patch. It's just like, damn, dude. Damn. You know? Alright. Fighters Guild. Circle Protection. Reduce the cost of ability in some morphs. Now heals. Okay. Increase the healing per tick by 278%. Jesus. This goes in line with their healing in an area, risk reward, right? Okay. Turn evil, reduce the duration of the fear morph to 4 seconds at max rank, down from 5. Trapping the beast, increase the duration. Reduce the damage. This morph now decouples times 10 the chance of applying hemorrhage, rather than increasing the duration. Alright. Mage's Guild Entropy. Increase the duration of this ability and its morphs by 20 seconds up from... Okay. I'm so tired of reading that. But I understand it has to be everywhere. Increase the... Okay. Sijic. Increase the base. Cost this ability and its morphs. Increase the duration of minor force. 20 seconds. Up from 12. This will cause channeled accelerations minor force to triple to 60 seconds. Wow. Race against time. Increase the duration of the snare immunity to 4 seconds. Wow. Big buff. Big buff. For those that want to accelerate out there and move fast. Undaunted. Orb. Mystic Orb now 220. Reduce the move speed of the ability 0.6 per second down from 1.5. To make them easier to hit targets with. Jesus, dude. The orbs are moving too quick for people to hit. Increase the damage per tick by approximately 28%. Mystic Orb. This morph now increases your health, magicka, and stamina recovery by 100 while active, rather than increasing your damage done by 20%. Okay. Energy Orb. This morph retains its original duration, move speed, and tick rate. This morph now ticks 1 extra time over the duration. Okay. We'll leave Energy Orb's high speed in there at 1.5 meters a second. Alright. I'm getting a lot of negative feedback on Mystic Orb. It's going too fast. There I was, parsing on my target. Orb. Right past me, dude. Couldn't catch it. Fire another one. Alright. Alliance War. Assault. Caltrops. This ability needs morphs now tick every 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Sorry, I'm not reading everything at this point because it's a lot of the same. Increase the issue abilities, fail to apply the effects at long ranges when under the effect. Anti-cavalry caltrops. This morph now increases duration. Okay, Jesus. I feel like I'm being trolled every time I read it out loud. Figure this ability now lasts 10 seconds. Reduce the healing per tick. And on echoing by 17%. This morph now extends the duration up to 6, up from 2. Resolving Vigor. Reduce the healing per tick by 22%. This morph now also grants Major Resolve for 20 seconds after casting. Oh, really? 20 seconds of Major Resolve. Just slipped in there on Resolving Vigor. Interesting. Well, 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 well. That could work for some people. You know, if it's not built into your class when you use your spammable and your class is getting buffs, then Vigor could be, you know, pretty nice for you. Unless it's just built into your spammable. That can 100% critical hit and sunder your target every time. And stun them while setting them off bounce. But it's up to you guys. You know. Support. Seed Shield. Fixed an issue where this ability and its morphs would end early. Rejoice. Okay. Still worse than echoing. What's that? The Resolving Vigor? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends what you're doing. It's really a solo thing. The Resolving. Even though echoing can be good solo, but it depends what else you got. Force of Nature. Reduce the amount of armor pen this node grants. Okay. In the Warfare Champion System tree. Weapons Expert. This passive now increases light and heavy attacks. By 4% per stage. Up from 3. Big boost to light and heavy attack damage. Big boost. We got some companion updates. Fuck, item sets? I can't do all the item sets, dude. It's gonna be all the same things I think I'm reading right now. Let me poke through, though. Item traits charged. Nerfing charged. Since its buff, this trait is Eclipse in each category it was once a part of, or was beating out other traits, even if you were only using 2 status effects. The new value should now have this trait be much closer in power to others when using 2 status effects, with the potential to still eclipse them when using more. Okay? Too much buff on charged. Okay? Ability altering weapons, the Grand Rejuvenator. This is the healing resto staff. So now restores magic and stamina 4 times over 6 seconds rather than 117 5 times over 4. Yeah, I mean, that's better, dude. Again, you're not going to get the full duration of this most of the time anyway. You're using this on the move on a group. Unless you're in PV or something. This set now deals its damage every 2 seconds over 10. Reduce the damage. Okay. Blood Moon. Dude, this set is now useless. Thanks for ruining the dream, finally. Iron Blood. Set now grants major protection, Aegis minor protection for 10 seconds when it activates. Interesting. Well, guys finally got Iron Blood nerfed out there. When we did the major and minor bounce pass, we intentionally left this set alone to try and make sure the curse aspect of the set was justified, but we're seeing this set enable far too much mitigation with not enough penalty. Rather than increasing the curse further and running the risk of making the set inaccessible outside of incredibly niche snares, we've instead adjusted and named the bonus similar power, accessibility, yada yada. Okay. Iron Blood got put in line and thrown right where Blood Moon is. Okay. Boom. And it still provides cool stuff, but I mean, let's be real. They reduced the cooldown 10 down from 15. Oh, it still does snare too. Okay. They reduced the snare. Okay. Noble Duelist, I probably don't care. Savage Werewolf. This item set now only procs off light attacks when you are within melee range of your enemy, instead of light and heavy attacks from any range. Why didn't you do that to Crystal Weapon too? Why didn't you do that to Crystal Weapon? You know? This set now ticks once every 2 seconds instead of 1, to reduce situations where it could tick twice instantly. Note that it will still continue to tick upon application, which is intended. Liar. This set's trade secret of proccing off each light or heavy attack instantly, while intentional, has created situations where it can produce some pretty oppressive results when utilized from range, or be channeled, or with channeled heavy attacks. Rather than harming the intended synergy of the set with light attack focused builds, we've restricted it to only affect intended build types instead. Keep in mind that this set can still proc off range focused light attacks, such as bows or staves, as it requires you to be within melee range when attacking rather than outright excluding those weapons. Okay. Sergeant's Mail. Set's been reworked now to grant you a stack of Major Sergeant's Focus. I don't care about heavy attack sets. I hope the heavy attacks just all die. Alright? If you're a heavy attack building, get out of here, dude. Just get out of here. Undaunted Infiltrator and Unweaver, I don't care. Mythics. Oaken Soul. This set now grants minor versions of Courage, Berserk, Force, Protection, and Heroism, rather than the major versions. It also now gives a little minor mending to make up for... Dude. Gutted. Just gutted. Alright? Minor Berserk, minor Force. You can get them already, dude. All right, you're gonna have clown shoes on if you're walking around with this now. All right, you can get all that already. You can get all that. It doesn't matter. All right, good. What do we got here? What do we got here, Captain Double Down? The original intent of this set was to improve accessibility of one-bar builds by producing many bonuses that you would get from running extra abilities in your back bar, and a few other named sources that may have come from coordinated groups to help make up for flexibility and specialization loss of having 5 ability choices instead of 10. While we did see the suggestions we're incorporating now, we didn't want to go too hard on the set after the heavy nerfs to the original form without some more concrete metrics and evidence, which we have gathered since Update 34, which is the expansion that went on sale earlier this year. Okay, now they've got some data. Good. Good. It's not all you got. You got more than data, okay? And now that we've got that data, now we feel comfortable that this set will still be incredibly impactful for its target audience, but in a much more balanced way. Wow, what a backhanded insult. It's intended our audience, our target audience, dude. Jeez. Take it easy on them, Gil. They're people too, dude. Alright? Alright. Well, there goes Oakensoul, dude. Alright, alright. PvP sourced. What does this mean? Oh, sets. Dark Convergence. Increase the cooldown by up to 25 seconds, up from 15, to help reduce the frequency, which it can introduce ultimate-like effects to the battlefield. Yeah, I'll say. Okay, that's a good change. Plague Break. This set now has a cooldown of 20 seconds per target, rather than only against targets that do not already have the dot on them. Wait, set has a cooldown of 20 seconds per target, rather than only against targets that don't already have the dot. This set can now proc on multiple enemies from a singular attack. Oh, wow. Brynja. Reduce the damage over time by approximately 48%. This damage can now critically strike as it does not have ingrained modifiers built into it. Increase the damage by explosion by approximately 3%. Can the explosion crit too? Is that what they're saying? Damage from set now also applies to Z's. This set is being run in far too many situations outside of its target audience. This set was made to punish groups that are stacking purges in tight groups. But due to the current nature of the set, it was punishing those who aren't using a cleanse, either as a dot dealing sizable damage and has no downtime. With the cooldown window, we hope to introduce more counterplay to the set by giving a window of safety from becoming a carrier again for a time, while still retaining the pain for those who are purging or dying too close together. Okay. Will this not... What will this cause? So, the really interesting part is you could proc that on multiple enemies from a singular attack. You could come in and just... You could plague an entire group. You could plague Zuko and all his friends. And if they hit a purge, are you done? Like, is that it? Is that 100% you're cooked? Deep Fissures of a Soul. Yeah. On console, Plague Rate Pot is consistently what actually kills you. Yeah. Game over. I'm just wondering what that'll be now, especially in these tight groups, these tightly packed groups. Be interesting if you get them coordinated hitting. All right. Like, what's to stop somebody for like bombarding all 12 people in a group that are together, and you have a friend on that faction and he instantly activates Purge? Like, can he not just kill your entire group now? Is there anything stopping that from happening? If you want to grief a ball group. Groups haven't run Purge in eons, though. Eons. I'm aware of this, Zuko. But what about the potential griefing that can happen, alright? There's a legend. His name's Small Son Fengrush, Zuko, and he could bring you to justice by himself. Alright? They say Plague, it's not even better. It's more the fact that you can coordinate and really hit all the plague at once. This potential griefing has happened. Yeah, I bet. But I would think that's... I guess my point is things like that would be more easily lined up, right? Like, what's to stop you from just running around at prime time and just being a 80k and just purge spamming in the middle of a Chalman pop lock siege, right? Just watching some comrades explode from your decisions, all right? Just saying. Maxime, 20 months, welcome back. Thank you for the resub, dude. Appreciate that. All right, interesting. Its intended effect will be more impactful, we could say, without harming people like the Wardens, the Templars of the world. All right. What else do we got? Increased XP granted from killing monsters and player characters in Cyrodiil and Imperial City by 10%. Huge. Wow. Increased XP granted from completing quests in Cyrodiil, MBGs, and Imperial City by 10%. Whoa. Imperial City. Increase the monster density in Ebonheart level 1, 2, and AD level 1. Alright, I don't mean to be a dick. These changes are nothing. The more mature version of me says, thanks for trying. The version of me that plays the game is asking, what the fuck are you doing? You're insulting us. You know, I don't know. I'm torn between it. I'm just gonna keep scrolling instead. Got housing, exploration. Is that mainly it? I think it is. That's it. Boom! Increased monster density. That's right. Yeah. Alright, that's the update, dudes. There we go. I mean, we got through it. Not too bad. Nothing super duper dramatic. I mean, initial overarching themes that change for PvP. Dot changes, obvious less pressure. We have a lot of healing changes, which generally do that, but it's not addressing ball groups still. Alright, ball groups will be able to heal. The one thing with regen is it's easier to use. But it's not too hard to plant healing springs and such on your group. It's happened before. It'll happen again. Cross healing has not been addressed. So as far as Cyrodiil goes, that sucks. Things that are addressed immediately off the top. Annoying Sorc builds. Oaken Soul. Trash tier builds running around. That's right. I said it. Oaken Soul trash tier builds, alright? People running around. No effort required. Getting it done out there, alright? I guess my point is they've taken care of some of the outlier issues. The heavy attack stealth builds, probably not very good, but still allow you to do some stuff. So they've done that without creating huge situations. I guess the whole thing, the light attack, heavy attack thing is like, okay, whatever. It hits everybody. Frankly, if you're trying to run around, you're outnumbered. You usually get peppered by light attacks and stuff. Generally, that can be lower damage. Same thing with the dots, less pressure. That's what that translates to, less pressure. And again, if you're in a group that has cross-layered healing, less pressure with, you know, still good healing, you're fine. But it also reinforces a meta where it's hard to kill people and it's hard to pressure them. And the only way you kill them is through burst. You're going to have to knock them out, right? That's kind of where the meta's been. And frankly, it's kind of been around that for a while. You either burst your target and you kind of can't die outside of that. And if you do die, it's because you're getting run down by multiple people and you just kind of get buried. Part of that's intended. If you're outnumbered, they want you to die. But honestly, if you're in like a 1v3 and you're getting hit with like dots and stuff, technically you should be absorbing less damage and your movement is more impactful in those situations. Nerf the hot, so we bring Necros, restoring tether. Yeah, the Necro changes seemed pretty decent. Yeah, I just sort kind of got lost in their melee. The Stam Sork portion kind of got. I don't think they know what they're doing with that. I mean, they didn't make too many sweeping changes as far as like what a class can do. A couple of them got knocked down a peg in their respective departments, which unfortunately generally pushes people to what's really strong. There's a couple that look like they might be really strong there. I don't know. I miss getting excited reading some of the patch notes and trying out new things that classes were going to do. I guess if you looked at new things, you're looking at like, there's a new set of jabs. All right. But that's not really that new or exciting. And we already got to see Deltia's reaction to getting new jabs. All right. You drove him to this. All right. He's pretty much lost his mind. And he stays positive at all times in the day. So, I look forward to reading the Oakensole threads. There's going to be a lot of people upset about Oakensole getting changed. That was inevitable. Please understand that every year there's a chapter to be sold. There is a mythic that is really good. And that mythic gets nerfed next patch. Alright? When you begin to understand the formula, you don't have to fight with people. Forums, past month or two, and Reddit is filled with people just fighting with each other. Alright? A lot of fighting. Even on social media, dude. Rich was upset. Everybody, dude. Everybody's upset at everybody, alright? This is the cost of doing business, though, alright? You get overtuned stuff, and then, you know, there's a lot of fighting. Her people were being called toxic casuals, and you gotta realize that's a real thing. It's a real thing when you constantly feed into that via game design, that you start to create something where you empower that mentality and you neglect things outside of it. But Reddit, Twitter must be more intense PP than the actual game. In a lot of ways, yeah, it's been pretty wild. There's a lot of fighting on there. What I think is unfortunate is to institute things that are clearly overpowered. It's like you can't say it's pay to win. But when every chapter you release a mythic and it's really tuned up, what happens is these crowds fight with each other. All right? Like, and it's not just PvEers fighting PvPers, because they're not, like, PvEers and PvPers weren't going at each other. It's people that are like, oh, this made my life a lot more easier. I like it. It's like, well, yeah, it also devalued a lot of things in the game, so inevitably it will be nerfed. And then they're like, man, fuck you veteran gamers. Fuck you PvPers. Fuck you endgame tryhard guys. And you have this situation where the player base goes at each other. And frankly, it's put in place because people are angry then. And that's done because of development choices. Whether you want to debate they're intentional or not. And therefore, how ethical are they? Whatever it is. Do not be exhausted by a community that you kind of feed in that way. You give them something really nice, and then they get angry when it gets taken away. And instead of coming at the person taking it away, they go at the people they think caused it to go away, which is unfortunate. A lot of infighting in ESO. ESO's been it's changed a lot over the past few years. It's unfortunate. It did used to be more of PvEers and PvPers trying to find a middle common ground. It's not really that anymore. It's people that kind of veterans versus people that don't care about the combat and stuff, and that's fine. You don't have to. But understand, a lot of veterans stuck with the game because they enjoyed elements of the combat along with other portions of the game. So a lot of patches. There's a lot of cycles put into adjusting things to simplify the combat. My overarching on update 35, we can see there's a clear shift on the dots, and I think extending buff timers was good. Reworking the dots is a little questionable. I don't know. Does it make it more convenient? Yeah, there's an argument to be made there. But I still struggle. I still struggle with what is like the target audience that the patch is for.